Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SpotOn.Show. I'm Renee Rose, your host today, and we have a beautiful guest from down under, Melbourne to be exact, and her name is IESHA. Say hello to her, please.
Hi.
Yay! I'm so happy to have you with us today. We are starting another season, and you are so perfect to kick it all off onto the second level of ascension. Correct? And we are that first wave, and we all need a little help. So that is my sign to give it to you. And why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone and go ahead and explain. I can't wait.
Oh, that's a beautiful open forum. I feel like I can say whatever I like.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, my name is IESHA DELUNE. Thank you so much for being here and for joining us. And what I really want to talk about today with my, beautiful host here, Renee, is all about how we can live the truth of who we are, because we are spiritual beings. We know that we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and the key to really unlocking our potential lies in being who we are. And when Renee and I were having a chat about what we were going to chat about, which is the fun thing that happens before interviews like this, I was talking to her how I explain it when I'm running workshops and teaching classes and things. And I talk about life like one massive puzzle. And all of us are really important pieces of the puzzle. We're here for a reason. We have guidance that's whispering inside of us. And we're all meant to be our piece of the puzzle. We can't all be the top left-hand piece. Otherwise, it would just be a pile of one piece, and we would be pretty dissatisfied, and we wouldn't be making the beautiful picture that we're here to make. And so our conversation will unfold, but the essence of it is you're here for a reason. You matter. The whisperings of your soul, your guidance, your intuition, whatever you want to call it, matters. And if you're currently struggling with anxiety, with depression, with stress, with resentment, with all of these things are feedback that something needs to change. It's not that there's anything wrong with you. You are perfectly wonderful. And this is guidance working perfectly. And I would love to just help people know you don't need to numb that feedback. The answer isn't in shutting down. It isn't in becoming more armored. The answer is in listening, knowing how to correctly interpret that feedback and acting on it and getting support if you need. We're not meant to be in this by ourselves. We're not alone ever.
That's my perfect open door, because I don't want anyone alone in the dark anymore. So that's one of my main reasons for me to get out and to do my mission 25 years ago, is to not leave anyone behind, not let anyone cry in the dark, not leave anyone alone, and to help them whatever they need, which is the new 5D. The new 5D is to be lovingly on your mission, helping your brothers and sisters and the earth and everything on it.
When we're doing our mission, our life purpose is to be who we are. And when all of the problems that we see in the world, the solutions are in the people that are in the world, but they're not. If you're not doing your work, then the piece of the solution that you have isn't being experienced or shared or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Whatever it is that guides us. So we are here to do our work. Some of us are guided to help children. Some of us are guided to help animals. Some of us are guided to help our older population. Some of us want to work with sick people. Some of us want to help relationships. Some of us, so many of us are here to be of service and give our light and love. And every one of our missions has that nuance, has that difference, because we're individuals.
Right.
No.
Oh no, you're absolutely. I'm just so intently listening because you're so right on. You're so, and I was just thinking that when you started, I kind of jumped forward because there's I work with a lot of advanced people most of the time, and I have to stop and remember what it's like to be cold, or in the dark, or alone and afraid, because once you get to that place of peace and center, you don't have that anymore, and you kind of forget, you dip down a little bit, but you forget what it's like to be completely feeling alone, and nobody needs to feel that anymore, correct? Even from square one to square 10, we all need help. And why isn't there just one person, right? Because there are so many people and everyone has such a unique journey that we just resonate with those that we resonate with, and those are the ones that have a piece of our answer for our puzzle to fit in. But the overall helping people to understand their puzzle piece and to help them fit into the puzzle is what we're all doing. But some listen and some don't, some believe and some don't, some are ready to go and some aren't, and it is just so much timing. And if you can be in such a peaceful place like you are, you're such a peaceful place for me that so much more can unfold. I mean, I'm high energy and connected and going all the time. But when I do now come to my peaceful center, it is at such another level. But it's another thing I have to learn again. So every time we go to another plateau, we're ready to jump off and go to another plateau again.
Mm. Yeah, and the heights are higher, and the depths of stillness and of love and of oneness feel deeper and wider too. It is growth.
Yes.
We do expand, and in that you then affect more people too. Correct. You know, we're having a conversation from one side of the world to the other.
Yes. Oh no. And just as she said that, it went off. Oh my goodness. It is a wonderful technology that we can be able to do all of this all at once, and to be able to be on the other side. She's in Australia. She knows how to hit the link and come back on. She'll be back on in a minute. But the thing is that she's actually on a different day at a different, complete opposite time than I am. And to be able to co-sync like that is just the miracles of today, of being able to do stuff like that. So she's going to come back. I'm sure of it. We can't just lose her. We will just start right back up again. This will give me a minute to post, and then later on I'll cut this out. But I had to go onto my timeline today, and there's a good chance to promote some of the what do you call it, the other show, sorry, some of the other shows that we're going to be doing, and a host. Okay, so I was just watching for her in case she pops back up. So the Real Raw Renee is going to be launched probably this week, where I'm just going to come and talk to you. And then the Galactic Gatherings, which I've been talking about, we're going to have 2 co-hosts, and that's going to be Gemma Nelson, and we're going to have Vanessa. So we're going to have both of those beautiful ladies that are going to co-host with me for the Galactic Gatherings that are going to be once a month with all of our beautiful past guests from the SpotOn.Show. And hopefully we can start again here once she gets going and comes on. So from what I can see, there's a she jumped onto her computer, so I believe it's a computer broadcast internet kind of glitch, so she might come back on with her phone. However, again, I'm always ready. So I will be adding more links to this later, but it will also be found in the event in the SpotOn.Show group on Facebook. If you're not a part of, please come and join the Facebook group. If you're not a friend on my main timeline, that's okay. You can still join the group. I've almost hit 5,000. There she is. And perfect timing. We will also be doing and airing all of this on YouTube. So as soon as we're done today we'll be doing, hello, welcome back. I will be uploading all this to YouTube. So you'll be able to see all this on YouTube as soon as we do that. I'll probably upload it right away. I usually do it right away. And so perfect timing. I just talked and I was just done expressing the shows and everything we're going to do. And these lives are automatic, so they go right onto Facebook, but I had to go onto the timeline because we didn't go into the group. There's only a couple hundred people where there's 5,000 on my timeline. They all get notified about this live when it's happening. So more people are seen. As a matter of fact, we told 1 million people today we were going to be talking. And so when it hits YouTube, that's only the second million. And then all the advertising afterwards, we will be rolling with a whole new, just a whole new level again. Yeah. So back to that.
Now know that they don't have to do it alone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We're part of the community, whether we know each other or not. You know, we're all, you know, here, you know, helping and healing and coming together.
Okay, so you're really like I'm kind of working on how to deliver messages on a bigger kind of a group scale, and I do like to work one-on-one with people. So I kind of do that when I'm just starting with them or when I'm taking them over to coaching with them. But in the meantime, I'm kind of really on camera working with the groups now. So that's why you're let's make sure we get your name, Aisha. That's why your timing is so perfect. So in case I miss some people right now, because I'm so busy, I can't help everyone. I can't do everything. So I love to collaborate. I believe in cooperation. So everyone, I'm completely highly recommending Aisha. That's what this is about, to introduce her to you. Doesn't matter if she's on the other side of the planet. She can still talk to you one-on-one because we have modern technology. And even if things drop, you can still pick them right back up.
Yeah.
So would you like to explain that? I mean, obviously you do one-on-one, but would you like to explain a little more about what it is you'd like to do with your coaching?
Oh, beautiful. So as you know, but our lovely audience wouldn't necessarily know yet, I have been on this journey of helping people for over 20 years now. I started as a healer, doing a lot of that in-person healing. I trained in Tibetan healing, Reiki, using a lot of color, craniosacral therapy, a lot of that physical energetic healing work. I, through that, moved into what I call holistic counseling. So I was a counselor, but I always wanted to make sure that we talked about, you know, the power of the mind, body, heart, and soul together. And in later years, learned those coaching tools to really help people not sit in talking about what's wrong, but to harness that coaching of, okay, where do you want to be? How do we get you from here to there? And I kind of pull it all together now and call myself a coach, but it really is over 2 decades of teaching martial arts, meditation, you know, all of these amazing, you know, neuroscience, how, you know, all sorts of amazing things, because I love to learn. So in my coaching, what I really do is come and meet whoever I'm working with exactly where they are. And that's so important. Like you said, sometimes people they're just ready for that lift. They're bopping along, they're okay, they're surviving, but they really want to thrive. I can meet them there. Sometimes I might meet someone and they're at crisis. You know, they're at, okay, things have fallen apart, you know, relationships fallen apart, careers fallen apart, my body's fallen apart. A lot of us have had that, you know, we get that learning through the physical. So meeting clients where they are and really starting with working on their foundation. So the essence of my work, it's always a collaboration, but earlier this year I published my second book, this one, The Happiness Recipe. And it's all about understanding, thank you, the ingredients that you need to thrive, you as an individual, Because like I said, we're all individual pieces of the puzzle. No one else on planet Earth is you. What you need, Renee, what I need, Aisha, what you listening need to really feel connected, healthy, inspired, alive, loving, that's really unique to you. Our happiness recipe is as unique as our fingerprints. What drains and depletes you, what robs you of energy, that's unique to you.
Right.
What enlivens and inspires you is unique to you. So all my work really is about helping people land in the truth of who they are and really map what they need for their health, for their connection, because it's different. And I think a lot of work out there is effectively people teaching their own happiness recipe. Like, here's how I rock. I get up at this time, I do this, I eat this, I do that. And it's like, follow my recipe and you too will be great. And it's like,
Right.
if we were clones,
right.
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 But really my work is about going, okay, well, none of us are clones.
Mm-mm.
I see a lot of people struggling with self-confidence because they're trying to be what they're not.
Right.
And it's impossible to be not good enough and not confident enough at being you. Like, we innately know how to be us. It's only when we're trying to be what we're not that we kind of get into trouble. So that's the essence of it, is meeting people where they are, helping people to understand that they are powerful, they're unique, they're beautiful, they're alive, do you know what I mean? They're all of these wonderful things, and we start from there. So that's kind of the platform. If it was a house, do you know what I mean? That's the base, and then we build whatever the goals are on top of that. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. That's how we do it. Yeah. And that's why, because we can't do it for everyone. So when you're connected to, I like to say, the source or the pure, love, you're going to, we are, yes. So we're all going to pretty much do it the same in a sense, but with our own flavor and the way we do it and the way that we resonate with certain people, because you can only take on maybe 10 or 20 people, and that's it. And we have 5,000 in this group. So if all 5,000 said, I love Aisha, we would have to stagger everyone out through the year, but Aisha would get to you, and she would, because she's synced in, she would know the timing and the priority by pretty much after 20 some odd years of practicing her entrepreneurialism and all of her skills. That allows you to be a little more connected also with the timing of somebody, because it's one thing to also meet them face to face or time to time or where they're at, but that timing hopefully is now, because things have changed. Even if you were talking to someone a year or two ago, things have changed so much that people where they thought they were okay, things have shifted again, and there's another upgrade happened last night. I woke up and, oh my goodness, I can do this now, and I didn't do that before. And sometimes you just got to talk to someone about it. I mean, those are, different levels of dealing with real issues of really, like depression to me is, a very, very serious issue. So we in order to find our joy and our happiness, want to help everyone else to find their joy and happiness, so no one's alone in the dark crying and unhappy. And once they find their joy, they will come out into the light. So even at the smallest or simplest or most important, I mean, isn't that amazing that it can be so simple and so complex, and no matter what it is, we're ready for everything. And when we've had 20 plus odd years of training, that's what makes us a little more seasoned and more sagely, which I am totally happy to be, because I worked a long, hard time, and you did. We both worked together 50 some years together of abilities that we have between the two of us. And if you put it that way, that's a lot. That's a lot. And we can only help so many people. So we have to have the right timing and be able to meet them at where they're at, and understand with no judgment, and totally love them from your heart center, to be open enough to be able to help them exactly what they need, and that timing is for them. That belief and understanding is for them. We can lead a horse to the water, but we can't make him drink. I just love that one. It's all about timing. When they're ready, IESHA and I, we are here for you. And IESHA, it can take you to different levels than I've been to. And we just have little different paths, because her 25 years and my 25 years were different, but we were both tuned into the same source. We both had the same end game of our mission of helping more people, right? And we still had the same journey, and yet completely different. That's what I love. It's just amazing how that happens. The whole really is. We're all just, that's it. That's a good place to go to you on that one. We're all an expression of the whole. And if we are not expressing ourselves completely, we are missing our pieces, missing a piece of the piece. We're not expressing it completely. The piece is there, but it's not completely there. And all the colors are on top, but they're not quite completely there until you're able to fully express yourself, especially from your heart. And most of us don't have the freedom to do that. I think that people want to, but just a lot of people don't feel they have the freedom to, or they're just completely afraid. So those are, I think, two of the biggest issues. Maybe you might want to say something.
Yeah, I think our issues are like we could absolutely put it into groups. I think sometimes people are so used to, particularly the more intuitive we are, the more empathic we are, growing up, unless you grew up in an environment where that was totally welcomed and everyone understood it, and all of that, people get used to reading the energy around them and behaving accordingly, because we are programmed to fit in.
Right.
That is part of what, in order to get looked after and nurtured and all of that, that base chakra is all about belonging to the tribe. And I think we learn really early how to do that. I used to call it being like an emotional chameleon. It's like, oh, you need that. Okay, I can be that. All right, you need that. Oh, okay, I can be that. So sometimes it's about, do you know what I mean? Coming and finding our center. And then I explain that permission to be who you are and to express yourself confidently, to have emotional conversations that generate understanding instead of conflict.
Yes.
That's a skill that's just like learning to speak Indonesian. Do you know what I mean? If you wanted to learn to speak a new language that you weren't brought up learning, we can think and speak in English because we grew up around it. If you didn't grow up around it and unconsciously absorb how to have empowered, self-respectful, respecting others conversations, well, you have to learn it like a new language. And that's where my work is really about bridging we're spiritual beings, but we're having a human experience.
Right.
And there's things we need to learn.
Even when you're sending.
I do this a lot with my clients. Learning, okay, well, here's how I feel. I don't feel like I've got freedom to be myself. And so we actually map, okay, well, how do we have that conversation? How do we frame it up? How am I going to, I did this with a client last night, needing to have a conversation with her mum. Her mum said something really hurtful to her. The pattern from childhood is just not to say anything, because if she says anything, it'll just make a bigger drama.
Right.
And so we map that out. And we're like, okay, mum, I just need to ask for, I need 5 minutes. I just need to share with you how I'm feeling. I'm doing that because I love you enough to want to kind of get rid of this tension that there is between us. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't bother. Right. I'm sharing this conversation with you because you matter. Do you know what I mean? Because we don't bother having difficult conversations with people, with the mailman, or do you know what I mean? We don't bother having heartfelt conversations where we say, please understand me, with someone we don't care about. And it takes the conflict out of it. So it's like teaching people how to be who they are. It's learning a language. It's learning to dance. It's learning to do it differently. And so that's where coaching comes in. That's one of my superpowers, is just teaching people to bridge that gap between who they are secretly on the inside and how to be that in their marriage.
On the outside. That's so important, because
Yeah.
you can't most of the time. You feel really, and someone, it almost is like someone almost says to tell you it's okay and give you permission. Sometimes just doing that alone clicks with somebody and they shift. It's just a matter of actually having permission to be able to be yourself and then go out and express that. And when you finally realize you're part of the whole on the ascension process, you still have to be yourself. No matter how advanced you get, you're still in the human experience until at least you fly out of your body and you're not a human anymore, or you transform into something else. But as long as you're human in this human experience, even if the 5D comes along and we all change together, we're still going to be humans, right? So it always comes back around.
Yeah, when you be yourself, the fear is if I'm fully myself, I'll be rejected, I won't belong, it'll cause a conflict, it'll be like it's a fear of the outcome. But what happens every single time I support someone through this is that when someone is fully themselves, everyone benefits.
Right.
Like when let's use, you and I are women, right? So let's imagine we're talking about a mum and she's served everyone else and she's done all this and she finally lands in the truth of her. When she starts expressing that and when she starts considering herself as one of the people whose needs she considers, when she starts asking for what she needs and communicating honestly, everyone around her benefits. Everyone benefits when we are who we are. It's
Absolutely.
something that doesn't make sense until you've seen it. But I've helped so many people through that. They go, oh, I can't say that to my husband. He'll say this and this and this. They're so used to the dance of disconnection.
Mm-hmm.
But when one person goes, you know what, we need to have a totally different conversation. I love you enough that I'm gonna get really uncomfortable and I'm gonna have it because you mean enough to me that I want you to really know what's going on inside. This person goes, oh, this is different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I felt.
But it also releases the conflict. So the other person doesn't really care how it gets there, as long as it gets there sometimes. Just get rid of the conflict. Oh, if this is what you need, okay, you can have it. Sometimes it really is a lot easier than most people think because they've just been too afraid to even have the initial conversation with their partner or the person. And it's almost always the fear of the unknown that is more powerful than your own light. And when you get that, it's like, what? Wait a minute. No way, no more. Because there isn't. That's another disempowerment, right? When you start actually realizing what's disempowering and what's empowering, then you purposely make choices and literally with thought, word, and deed, practice enough to make the change, the perfection of it all.
Doing it differently, that dance of disconnection, the places where you're not being yourself drain so much energy. It's so much harder to try and be what you're not.
It's that try.
How beautiful the smile is.
Yep. It's that try word. That dang try word. That try word is a worse word. I'm sorry.
Energy that could be used for your work, for the healing you want to do in the world, for whatever it is. And so all of a sudden energy gets freed up when we get more honest, when we get deeper, when we get more real. Right. And our relationships, the closeness we crave often, we actually need to open up our armor and open up our walls and let ourselves be known. And that just frees up energy so much.
Yeah, because you're working so hard to try to do everything and make everyone happy and be the best that you can never be. And for everybody else, it's like it's exhausting.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is exhausting and stressful. And then it creates all kind of dis-ease. Right? I mean, minimalize everything right down to peace and joy. And it's amazing how little it should be peaceful, joyful, and effortless. and maybe not fair, but it could be very peaceful if you allowed it to be, right?
And well, that's the thing with while we're in this human body, our body is giving us real-time feedback every moment of every day with how in alignment we are. So, in the Happiness Recipe, the book, I talk about happiness really is the result, the effortless result of being body, heart, mind, and soul in alignment with who you are. Not me trying to be in alignment with you, but me in alignment with me. Right. Happiness is the effortless result when we're being who we are. And our body is giving us feedback all the time about whether we're honoring ourselves or not. That when we say yes, but we really don't want it, what's that like in your body? It's so clear.
Right. When people are saying yes, but
when we say, no, I can't, I've got this commitment, but we really want to say yes, what's that like in your body? We get so much feedback. Where the body is, I think a lot of spirituality leaves the body out like it's an inconvenience. Like the highest spirituality is, being in a cave and going beyond the needs of the body. And it's like, well, it's a great tool.
Maybe, but no, I'm the same way. My biggest thing is to tell people to please look in the mirror and not only just say I love you. If that's awkward, then you really need to do it. You need to say I love you and then wait and see for your body to respond. If your body truly, every cell responds and says, whoa, she loves me, then you know that your body's responding, right? You actually get that innate conversation going on. It really is important to look in the mirror and love yourself, because you can't love anyone else if you don't love yourself quite the same way, right? And you can't open the door to allow someone to come in and help as much either. And you don't need any books or any language to learn to love yourself. Everyone can look in the mirror, and everyone who is worried about their ego are the ones that don't have to worry about the ego. The one that's looking at me going, hey, man, I look pretty good. Those are the ones with the ego. They need to learn how to say I love you on a different level, right? But we're talking people that help other people first and maybe not themselves first. And then they go to the mirror and find out, oh, my goodness, I'm really not loving myself, because you're the only one to tell yourself. You're the only one to gauge who you are and what you know and what you love and what you like and don't like. Why would you ask anyone else for that? It's the same thing as the self-expression and the permission to allow yourself to do it. So honestly, you don't need any help to be able to express yourself. It's just that giving the permission and the steps and how to go out and apply that and maybe do some things in quickly mode because we're impatient, then that's a perfect time to call and ask for help, because we can open the doors quicker and move things faster and maybe make them a little more solidified. And a lot of people want to jump 1 to 5 to 10 when we know 1 to 2 and 3 must be done first. And that's why it always fell through. But that's the difference with the 20 years plus experience, where I'm not saying anything negative about young people, because young people are sometimes older than us now. They're being born amazingly awake with so much information. It's just that's why I think we resonate really well together. We have the same kind of understanding with people. And I love where you can bridge where I'm not able to.
Yeah, so to me, like ingredients, if you think about everything edible on planet Earth, not all ingredients go well together.
Right.
Like milk and orange juice, they don't really jive so well together. Do you know what I mean? But there's nothing wrong with milk, and there's nothing, well, we don't want to have a whole conversation about the dairy industry, but do you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with, this spice and that fruit or whatever. It's just things come together. And for anyone who does work with me, I always say when I teach a workshop, I could come to a workshop that anyone in my audience was running about what they'd been learning or what they were passionate about. It's like, I'm no better. This is just what I've been doing for, since I was 19, and I'm 43 now, because it's what I'm interested in. I wanted it for me. I wanted to share it. That was my thing. But over my life, I've learned to ride horses from people who that was their thing, and that gave me so much joy. I have my car serviced by someone who's been tinkering with cars and, do you know what I mean? Has got his own mechanic shop now, and he's doing that. So to me, it's about we could all go to someone who was 20 or even a teenager and experience what their passion is. It's not necessarily to do with age or to do with anything. It's just about understanding all of us have got value, all of us matter, all of us have got skills to share. The children can teach us how to play.
Yeah.
Children teach us how to be honest. Children teach us how to speak what is. Because they say, Mummy, why is she fat? Or whatever. They're just noticing things. They're saying whatever. How come that man has one arm? They just and they teach us how to be honest.
Yes.
So, you know what I mean? There's value everywhere at every age. And there's some people that are perfect to work with me. There's some people that are perfect to work with you. There's some people that it would never really resonate to work with either of us, but maybe we'll work with them or do something else. So it's like to me, there's no levels.
That's right. And timing, like maybe not now, but 10 years or 2 years or whatever from now, who knows where we're going to be and where we might cross paths again, and how many little seeds we've planted along the way, right? I mean, it's just, you just got to receive.
You just absorb it.
Absorb it and receive it.
Around you in the womb, and everyone you meet just slowly, and it all comes together at kind of age 1 or 2, but it's all gone in there in the unconscious mind. That's
right. So this last book that you did, is this your second one or this is your?
That's the second one. Oh, I wrote the first book I ever wrote was a little ebook, which is just, I never published it through a publisher. It's just on my website, called How to Set Goals You'll Actually Achieve. Which is about,
I like that.
Very similar to what I was saying before. It's like we're all individuals and you need to set a goal in a way that works for you.
Right.
And then my first book that I published through an American publisher was 5 years ago now, which is called The Answer. And it's all about how your mind, your body and your energy work together. It's kind of like the instruction manual. I'll show you the instruction manual that we never got for our bodies. It's like these miracles of physiological engineering, and they've got these amazing brains and we don't necessarily know how to use them, and these bodies that are amazing. So that's the first kind of full.
Nice.
Full one.
Yes.
It's quite big. It's like a big manual where you work through, your mind, your body and your energy. And then, the happiness recipe was earlier this year.
Then this year. So I know. Yay. I'm so happy because I want to try to, but still haven't. So I'm very proud that you did accomplish your goal.
I'm very good. I'm very good at taking down a big 3-dimensional goal and breaking it into steps. And there's a formula to getting these things done.
Okay, so I'm going to be a little real for a minute and say if you have difficulties, that you don't want to be embarrassed, right? And sometimes some things hold you back, and neither one of us are judgmental in any way, shape, or form, but just a simple thing for me like dyslexia is a really big thing because it's really hard for me to read fast and do certain things. I trance out and do things. And so, because of it, it has slowed me down with reading as well as trying to write. So I decided I just would verbalize it, right? Just do an audio book or a video book or, and then I said it to 3 people and they're like, oh, why would you want to do that? And then I went, okay, I'll just do the SpotOn.Show instead. but yes, we can, whatever way there is, whatever that's in there, because when you when you open up someone, the beautiful present inside is what comes out, right? And your books are like your blossoming of your coming out, your intelligence, all your hard work, your experience are these beautiful books. So if someone can't work with you one-on-one, they can get all your information through your books. You have a website, you have a Facebook group, you have different things for people on any different level that they're at. I'm hoping that you're going to come into the Patreon Palace and be one of our coaches, high-level coaches there as well. We're going to hopefully be doing a lot more things to open up more avenues for all of us, because it's one thing to promote yourself, it's another to promote a whole unit and a group of loving coaches. Everybody is a guide or a coach of some way.
Yeah. And it's important to know that wherever you're at financially or wherever you're at time-wise, there are solutions at every price point. You know, there's solutions at, you know, a book like this, for someone that's, let's say, like a single mom, young kids, they might only be able to read half a page a night before they're asleep, and maybe it takes them 18 months to read it, but there's still solutions. Don't ever let time or money or that three-dimensional stuff that feels so real and so limiting limit you.
Right.
You know, half a page of a book a day for a year and a half still gets you somewhere different than not the half a page of a book, you know? So it's like there are solutions for everyone. Yes, the one-on-one coaching is a financial investment and a time investment, and it's a commitment to say, you know what, I'm ready. I am worth it. I'm sick of that stuff that's holding me back. I'm ready to invest in me, yes. And some people, when you know you're there, I know when I've been there and I invest in that next level for me, I feel it. But just because you might feel that and not have the money or feel like you don't have the time or whatever it is, but there's solutions for everyone. And the more you do your work, the more that opens up. The people that I can work with now were like a fantasy of mine 10 years ago because I didn't have all the money, you know. So it's like the more you do, the more you open up and the more you can do.
And that's what I was going to say, because if you really want to be successful, if you want to go take your hobby to a business, and you want to be able to say you have a spiritual business, there comes a point when you have to get real with your business and treat it with respect and invest in it as well as yourself. And that's the way it is, period. If you're not able to, you just have a hobby, and that's the way it is. So it's up to you which way you want to go. But everybody, I mean, everybody pays for advice. Everybody invests in their business. A business takes 3 years of investment to build a building and build that business before you're able to actually make money, usually, so that you can turn around and reinvest in your coaching, because sometimes it's hard to get coaching until you actually have it all rolling to have something to coach. It's hard to coach something in your mind, but we can even do that by getting goals set and figuring things out and getting clear. So it doesn't matter what part of the path, because everybody who wants to change to the next level, they realize that the health and the relationships and the business are tied together. Once they realize that, they're like, oh my goodness, I can make that much of a difference and that much of effect of everyone around. And I can actually have a success, which sometimes that alone is enough for someone to motivate them from everybody who said, you can't do it, right? I don't care how long it takes you, 20, 30 years until you're 50, 70, 100. Who cares? Your timing and your amount of success is yours, and no one else can take that from you. And however long it takes, however resourceful way, like I lay books under my head and sleep on them. I don't have the month to read them. Somehow I wake up and I know it's in it. You find ways to do what you need to do. When you make the commitment to yourself, you make the commitment to your business, you make the commitment to your creator, and then you have faith and let it happen. It happens, and it happens again and again. And even if you don't have the money, you still pre-plan who you want. I mean, there's thousands of coaches, but I can't start with a $10,000 an hour coach is going to take me to 8 figures. I need the first coach is going to help me get the first figures rolling. And then I need the next level coach is going to make my business go serious, right? So each commitment, actually, there's more than just, it's just a matter of making the commitment. And then you keep going until you're so satisfied with your success that you can relax. That's a long journey, right?
In there that I really want to talk to. And the first thing I want to say is that there is no competition. Like there are more people, animals, environmental things. There are more parts of our world that need healing than there are healers. So it's like we are all in it together. We're all one. I never feel a sense of commitment with anyone else doing healing or coaching. We're all in it. If you feel drawn to doing this work, then just allow yourself to grow into it. The need is there. Right. And the other thing that I want to say is, and I'm not the only one to have said this. I'm not trying to pretend this is an IESHA original. But don't ever listen to advice from someone whose life you don't want to emulate.
Right.
So to me, you know, don't take financial advice from someone who's never had more than $1, right? You might take cooking advice from them because they're an amazing cook. You might take makeup advice from them because they're really great at that. You might take relationship advice from them because they've got a great, really great marriage. Right. So, but don't take advice, or don't take business advice from someone who does not have a successful business in the field that you want to be in. So it's like the 3 people that told you, why would you want to do that? I would question, do they understand your industry? Do they understand who you are? Do they understand how you best share information? I would say no, no, and no.
Probably. That's your research.
Yeah. So I've been in my own private practice for 16 years. I worked for other people around. I had a full-time job and worked in other centers and things before that. The first few years of starting my business, that first 3 years of struggling, you know, trying to make money, and I had a baby, I was a single mom, do you know what I mean? I had no startup capital, but I had such a passion to do this work. A lot of really well-meaning people said to me some version of, why don't you get a real job? Right? And that's okay, but I knew that I was here to do this. I knew that there was books in me. I knew Louise Hay didn't publish her first book till she was 50, in her 50s. And I'm like, okay, this is what I'm here to do. So if people give you advice, just look at the area of their life that they're giving you advice on and just ask yourself, do I want what they have? If you don't, they're not the people's advice to listen to in this part of your life. They've got a wealth of advice in other areas. I'm not saying dismiss them totally.
Right.
But when you're wanting advice about a particular life area, listen to the people whose support you would want. I think a lot of amazing dreams, a lot of soulful guidance is squashed at the point of sharing it with someone that doesn't understand.
Yes, that's happened a lot, unfortunately. That happens a lot because the resonance, the understanding, and trying to either do cookie cutter or do it like me. That research is so important, and that's why you give such complete, direct, one-on-one help with people.
There are some parts of life that there is no substitute for one-on-one support.
Right.
Like a book cannot achieve. There's no book that's about your partner, it's about your child, that's about your body, that's about your boss, that's about your parents. We are this unique, fusion of mind, body, heart, and soul. You've got your own history. And so there's something about when you're ready for change like that and you need someone to see you, there's something that, even like I run the Happiness Recipe as a group workshop. I love it. Great. And that's enough for lots of people to help shift them and things like that. But that one-on-one is about one-to-one.
Come back.
Right. And so it's all about you. And it's something really, really profoundly healing on a very deep level, I think, for a lot of us. To be seen, to be known, to be deeply encouraged, to be supported, to be celebrated. It really is soul food, I think, especially for people who felt alone.
Right. The whole process is important, especially for people alone. I mean, if you've got everybody, but you just need one part, that's one thing. But when you're alone, the hand holding, it really does, because you have, so that's a good lead in then. So we have your books and we have your coaching, and you actually have your support group with your Facebook group. And then we're going to be having...
Cultivate Soul Deep Happiness is the Facebook group. I run a free class in there once a month. Might be like last month I did 5 days of embodied gratitude. So just teaching the brain, teaching the language of gratitude and how to apply it and things like that. So fun things, whatever I'm inspired to do. So that's a cool place to hang out for free.
Awesome. Is there anywhere else you might, around the net, that you might
There, and Holistic Vitality with IESHA DELUNE, the Facebook business page, is where I put my
business.
Yeah, is where I put my energy online. I'm starting to have a play in LinkedIn because I think we really do need to understand mental and emotional health in the workplace. And so I am going to be doing, well, I have done already some sort of speaking and teaching in that corporate space, slightly different languaging than our conversation, but I think it's very practical, so it's important. There's a lot of, there's a lot of suicide in the Western world. There's a lot of people that are networked at work and they're part of sporting clubs and they're not understanding that they have a happiness recipe. And I want to reach those people. So I am starting to talk a bit on LinkedIn, but mostly Facebook is the place I'm the most comfortable, and I know what I'm doing, and I love hanging out there.
So we're going to put this up on YouTube. So you will have at least this on YouTube, so you can link to it and send people that way. And everything, I think, in the event, once it's over, you can't change some of it, but I think you can still add at least comments and a couple posts and things. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. So you
can add posts after an event. I've done that when I've done
so, yeah. So we can still use that event as like a little mini page, and no matter how, I mean, it could be a year or two from now, and I still will be, carrying this interview with me. Yeah. So this is just the beginning today of how many people, could see this, and it can be just as relevant a year from now. Even if you see this now, 1 year or 2 years from now, and you resonate with IESHA, I'm sure you're still going to be able to be reached, and one way or another. You're pretty direct. You don't change up too much, right? You're pretty easy to find.
Well, there's not a whole lot of IESHA DELUNEs in the world, so just put my name into a search engine and you will find me.
Exactly. I love that.
Yeah, and there's IESHADELUNE.com, like that will just come to me. So all good.
Right. Yeah. And I would hope that you would come back for one of our galactic gatherings, or as many as you could.
Yeah, beautiful. It's so fun to help you kick off season 2. I'm so honored to be here and to hold space for you to share your wisdom, and you to hold space for me to share mine. So how fun.
Yes, and I think that this year we'll be able to kick off that and be able to have you come in, and that would be awesome, because all we have to do with everyone is just to get the timing. So I figure maybe once a month, and if you can pop in on the time, and I'm going to remember and take your timing into account, because I always think everyone needs to go more early. But actually, for you, right about now is morning, right? It's just finishing for us, and it's just starting.
It's to midday for me right now.
Midday. Okay, so I could start a little bit earlier, and it would be morning, so about noon. Okay, so anytime after 1 or 2, I'm still pretty good around those afternoon times. So good. So again, I would love to have you back for that an official invitation again. And absolutely, thank you so much for being here to kick off a season 2 of the SpotOn.Show. And we're just getting ready to do so many things. So you're the beginning of all the new changes after everything just fell in the first 6 weeks. So now I can do this because now I'm choosing to do this. It happened because I chose to be me, and the SpotOn.Show came aboard, and so now I'm
come from that. Like, yeah,
exactly.
And everyone benefits because you're being you.
Right. And I had to take a break because, there was 10 of them in 6 weeks. That was a lot. And I think 1 a week or 1 a month is fine. 12 in a year in a season. Now I see why there's so much behind the scenes work that it takes. It just looks like it's an hour and it's no big deal, but it's a lot of work. We're posting right up to the last minute. And when you're doing it by yourself, you got your camera, your lighting, the posting, the broadcasting, everything by yourself. And then you're connecting to someone like across the planet at another day and another time, and there's so many intricacies just to be able to have a nice little conversation. But thank God we can. I just love technology. Mwah. And you're such a beautiful person. How else would we be able to introduce you to people here, if we didn't have this, and this is just a one step of a way to introduce IESHA to our Western world. And hopefully, my God, again, I pray and hope you can help tons of people, just absolutely tons and tons of people with your love and your big heart and all that wisdom you have.
Thank you so much, darling, and wishing you all the best for season 2 and for everything you're sharing and the galactic gatherings. And yeah, my heart to yours, huge smiles. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And I'm sure we'll be doing something else, and I'll probably definitely have you back again. So I'm just going to open that door right now and thank everyone who's watching. We weren't able to look at the comments in any of the chat room, so I'm sorry about that. I didn't want to leave anyone out, but it's really hard with Be Live. So we can see afterwards, and afterwards we can put in all the links and we can answer all the questions. So please comment and like, and if this is on YouTube, subscribe and like and hit that little bell so you know when something new comes up and when we actually start going live. And a little secret, the Patreon Palace is about to promote and open its doors, and that's going to be a unified group of basically a coach and a psychic network. So that's going to be launched this week. There'll be many things. So I hope you all enjoy. And if any of this sounds great to you, just feel free to message us. Just
yeah,
talk.
Absolutely. Totally welcome. Ask your questions. Yeah. Don't sit there wondering. Ask.
Yeah, if you're on Facebook and you're friends, you're in the group, just go say hi to Aisha and just start a conversation, and she'll make it very comfortable for you. As you can see now, you see how awesome she is. So I highly recommend, and I hope you all love her and enjoy the Spot On Show. And next will be, I believe we're going to be doing the next interview with Vanessa. So you all get to know who our other co-host is. You've met Gemma. You get Vanessa and Aisha, you never know. So I love you, and let us know how things are going. Stop back in on your event and pop in and bring in anything new that you're doing. Bring it into the event because people will be able to follow through with you. Yes. So I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, everyone. See you later.